Yeah. So I've been about 4 years into really using it as a tool for self-awareness. And probably what I've mentioned to you offline, like I resonate a lot with a lot of the one energy too, but kind of how I landed on the six is really probably the self-doubt. You can actually hear it in me saying it of kind of, well, it's this and that, but that in that the committee, in terms of and like looking to external sources. And for me, often that's information and other experts. And that creating the security piece, that creating security, particularly for others around me, is a really strong drive for me. So that creating security, creating structure, creating a sense of safety is a very strong drive.
Okay. Okay. And there's something I want to come back to, but also if you're willing to share, what about the one also kind of resonates and is in the mix?
Yeah. So I guess I recognize the one most in myself when I'm not in a healthy space. So
Mm,
definitely, and maybe this is me going to a three, but it's that really wanting to control the details, wanting things to be just so, resenting other people that aren't working as hard as I am when I feel like I'm working hard. That idea of like coming into the kitchen and the dishwasher is clean and there's dirty dishes in the sink and people are like sitting on the couch relaxing. And I'm like, can't you all see that the dishes need to be unloaded? And that kind of resentment and thinking that, so those types of things, and feeling when I'm not in a good place, I'm like walking by the picture frame and adjusting it 3 times because it's crooked, that kind of thing.
yeah. Well, I don't know what this says about, and maybe this is my one, but we are having the exact dishwasher issue. Like that just happened last night and I'm a 7. And I think, it does. I don't know what, I feel like we could do a whole like episode on like people's relationship with unloading the dishwasher.
Yes. Yes.
That is like just the foundation for so many fights, I feel like. But yeah, I absolutely feel that. As well, so that's interesting. And I think it's just to be aware, like regardless of where you end up or somebody else ends up, it's just like being that awareness has been so helpful to
Mm-hmm.
me, and putting language to things, which the Kolbe also helps with. And we'll get to that a little bit. Would you be willing to share a little bit about, because I know you're very you've done a lot of personal growth. You're in this professional development, professional growth industry. And if you're not comfortable sharing, that's okay, but I'm going to ask the question anyway.
Yeah.
One of the things for a type 6, and we all can struggle with that self-doubt, but for a 6, it is very kind of, you said it, that inner committee can be such a challenge, like this or that. Who do I listen to? I want to listen to
Mm-hmm.
myself. Don't want to be told what to do. How
Yeah.
have you grown kind of through that to become more self-directed, more self-trusting?
Oh my goodness. Yes. No, I love this question. And it is absolutely a work in progress. The tools that help me the most are journaling, for
Mm.
sure. And almost every time I find myself spinning where I'm just talking myself out of because I am so great at that analysis. So almost any idea I come up with, I can tell you, like, I can analyze it to death. And when I start spinning in that, almost always I've fallen out of journaling. And I don't know what it is, something about journaling, even though it could seem like the same activity, it could seem like I'm in my head still and I'm thinking. Something about journaling is like an action for me. It's getting it out of my head, and it's more productive thinking. It makes it more productive thinking. And then almost always like I'll just write and like I don't know where I'm going. I don't have the prompt necessarily, but by the end of it, I have reached some clarity. So that is my absolute best tool. When I find myself like I've asked 3 different people the same question in a week, and sometimes even like I'm asking someone who has no, like I should definitely have more knowledge in this area. And that's when I notice like, oh my goodness, I am asking, her an opinion on something where this isn't her realm of expertise. That's when I notice that I've gotten off track. And so journaling is my number one. The other one I'm really trying to work on right now, and I'll be just totally honest, this is definitely the biggest point of growth or edge of growth for me still is even listening, like knowing what, it's not so much trusting my inner voice. It's more like letting her speak, and kind of connecting with that. So the other thing is just being quiet, and whether that's meditating or centering, but really getting quiet. It's easiest for me to do it when I walk. I love to listen to podcasts when I walk, but I try to have at least one of my walks each day just be more meditative, noticing and but getting out in nature and walking. So journaling and walking are the 2 things that help me the most.
And with journaling, do you do it at like a certain time of day? And then how long do you do it for? Do you have a set time?
Yeah. So I have, I'm constantly changing, but yes, I do it. So typically I exercise first, and I mean, that might just look like some yoga stretches. But then I journal, and I've gone back and forth with digitally and a paper journal. And right now I'm doing a little bit of both. My challenge is my handwriting is really horrible. So when I do it on paper, I can never go back and like see any insights or patterns, but I do like writing by hand. So I do one in my hand where I do every day, which is just literally brain dumping. But if I have something I'm really need to process, a decision I'm making, particularly in my business, I use Notion, and because I can search it, and will journal there.